A 30-year-old popular teacher is killed in her home while her husband is out of town. Desiree Sunford was a 30-year-old teacher living with her husband Scott. He worked at a military training center. He had been in the army. Desiree and Scott got married in 2003 and seemed to be a perfect couple. They loved to spend time together, especially outdoors riding their motorcycles. However, the couple had secrets, and the secrets came out after Desiree was killed. A 911 call came into the Yakima County Sheriff's Department at 8:30 p.m. on April 7, 2013. The call was from Scott Sunford.
Sheriff's office.
Hi, ma'am. This is Scott Sunford. Today at 3:24, 3:27, and 3:28, I had 3 census trips, and I've been out of town with family for a funeral. My wife was home.
Okay.
I just got home, and the board that I have over my back door has been broken. So somebody has forced their way in, and I haven't heard back from my wife. I need an officer here now.
Okay. And what's your wife's name?
Desiree Sunford.
He said that he had been out of town and couldn't get a hold of his wife all day. He said the alarm had been tripped and wanted the police to check on her. The police arrived at the Sanford home, which was off a lone road that had no streetlights. Scott was waiting in the driveway and didn't want to go in the house alone. Scott was also holding a gun, and he had it aimed at the house until the police arrived. The police thought that was super strange. They walked inside, which was completely dark. There was nothing suspicious until they walked into the master bedroom and found Desiree dead on the floor. She had been shot 9 times and had tried to crawl away. The police found several bullet casings around her, and there was a shoe print found in blood. The police wanted to interview Scott to determine when Desiree was killed and where he was during the murder. The police disarmed Scott and told him they wanted to ask him some questions. At first, Scott was talking about his gun and where he got it. Detective David Johnson thought that was weird because they just told him that his wife was killed. He also hadn't asked them what happened or how she died. Scott told the police that he had just returned from the Tri-Cities. He had gone to a funeral. He said he hadn't been able to get a hold of Desiree and was worried when he was driving home. He said he didn't even think something was wrong, not even when the alarm had tripped. The police wanted to question Scott back at the station. They found his behavior really odd and wondered why he hadn't gone into the house. He had a gun and military training. Did Scott know more? While Scott was in the interrogation room alone, he was talking to himself and telling himself not to cry.
Talk to me now about what happened out at your house.
Of course.
Okay.
As much as I can. I mean, I can't help you too much. I wasn't there, but...
Well, I wasn't either, and I just got here, so that's where I'm asking you to jump in and help me fill in the blanks as far as what led us out there.
Told her, it's kind of rainy, it's windy, tired as hell, long day, and they want to do a breakfast get-together in the morning. I'm going to stay here for the night.
Did she indicate that anything was wrong or everything seemed okay?
No, it was fine. Yeah, it was just a quick, hi, yeah, looks like I'm going to stay. It's going kind of long. Love you. Talk to you soon. See you tomorrow.
You mentioned that you got a bunch of alarm hits on through your phone at like 3 in the morning.
All along the drive home, I just kept calling her randomly, trying to get a hold of her. My stomach was churning. I was shaking. I had convinced myself by that point something had to be wrong.
Okay, and so why not go in the house and check things out and make sure she's okay?
Because I was afraid.
What were you afraid of?
When I saw that back door, I just couldn't decide whether I could deal with what I may or may not see.
You said you were in the military?
Yeah, 13 years.
13 years? Did you get deployed in combat areas?
Yeah, had a couple deployments.
Where at?
Iraq.
Iraq. Well, I'm just thinking, you're a big guy. You're 6'4",
Somewhere up there.
6'4", 250. You got a firearm on you. You've been in combat. I mean, you've done some serious that most people will never do. So if anyone's going to be willing to go charge it in the house and make sure their wife's okay, it would seem to me that it would be you.
Well, it's not that I was afraid of anybody being in there. I'll take on 100 people for her, that's fine.
Yeah.
That wasn't the concern, it was her.
You just don't want to see what may have happened to her.
Yeah.
And what did you think you might see if you went inside?
Roll around 1,000 of the worst things you can think of.
How long have you two been married?
10 in November. Met in middle school, started dating in high school.
You left Yakima about 08:30 on Saturday and drove down to the Tri-Cities. And you were there all day at the funeral with your family. Then you stayed at your dad's in Kennewick.
No, I actually stayed with a friend, but let's see.
What's the friend's name?
Oh, her name's Paige. She's a mutual friend.
And what time do you think you arrived at Paige's house?
I'd say 12:30-ish. She had already went and laid down, so I had to go wake her butt up.
Did Desiree know that you were going to Paige's?
I don't know, honestly.
It's not something you had discussed with her?
No. No, Paige would come stay with us. We'd stay with her.
Was it just a platonic friendship, or did you have
Well,
an actual relationship with Paige?
You know, I shouldn't go there because it's kind of rude, but, well, Des didn't want me to say anything to anybody, but at one point, her and Paige had a little thing going for a while there, a little experiment.
Okay, so it was,
So-
it was Desiree and Paige who had the sexual relationship?
Yeah.
But not you and Paige? Or sometimes,
We all did.
Sometimes you and Paige too?
Honestly, we all did.
The police were able to determine that Desiree had been killed between 10:30 p.m. and 3:30 a.m. Her phone records showed that she had last spoken to her mom on April 6 at 10:30, and the alarm tripped at 3:20 a.m. The police asked Scott what he was doing at that time. Scott said he was in the Tri-Cities and stayed with a friend named Paige. He said he arrived at Paige's around 12:30 a.m. and slept on the couch. Scott was asked what his relationship with Paige was like, and he said they were just friends. Scott also told the police that he, Paige, and Desiree had a three-way relationship and that everyone was happy with it.
So it sounds like you and Desiree had a pretty open relationship.
Generally,
Socialized
no.
or- no?
Generally, no, just with her.
Just with her, there was a special relationship with Paige.
Yeah.
So you don't think it would not have bothered Desiree to know that you were going to stay with Paige?
No. And honestly, we didn't even do anything. I was out on the couch anyways, because...
So we can about wrap it up here. It's 03:32 hours on April 8th.
The police asked Paige what her relationship with Scott was like.
I understand that you're a friend of Scott and Desiree.
Yeah. I met Scott in February 2011, and we became friends. I met his wife, Desiree, in May of the same year.
So you were involved in a sexual relationship with Scott, and Desiree knew about it.
I was also sexual with her as well.
When was the last time that you saw Scott?
Saturday. He had a funeral in Tri-Cities.
To be real honest with you, your story seems almost too clean and perhaps coached from Scott, because your stories match too well.
If you know anything regarding this death and you're trying to make up a story or protect Scott, the truth is going to come out eventually.
Paige said they were really close friends and that it had turned intimate. Paige also confirmed that they did in fact have a three-way relationship, but that Desiree wasn't comfortable with it anymore. Paige and Desiree had exchanged messages about it, and Paige had sent a message along the lines of "if something happened to you, then I would replace you." Paige also confirmed that Scott had arrived around 12:30 a.m., but that he didn't sleep on the couch. The two stories were very similar, and they asked Paige if Scott had coached her on what to say. The police didn't have any reason or evidence to tell Paige, but she was still one of their prime suspects. The police needed to bring Scott in for another interview. This time, they confronted him with the information that Paige had given them. The police also obtained a warrant for Scott's house and a warrant to take various boots and shoes. None of his shoes were a match, and he was again let go. During the investigation, the police received a tip that Paige was pregnant. They obtained a warrant for her phone to see if Paige had been at the Sunford home at the time of the murder. The police couldn't find any evidence that she was there on April 6th and 7th. The police were frustrated and wanted to provide Desiree's family with answers. 1 year would go by without any answers. In 2014, the police received an anonymous call from a woman who was later identified as Paige herself. Paige told the police that she knew who killed Desiree. She said it was a man named Marty. The police hadn't heard of this person until now. Paige told the police that she and Marty were best friends and worked together. Paige told Marty that she had Scott over the previous week and they were arguing. Scott had moved on and was in a relationship with a new woman. Paige said that Marty asked her if she wanted him to take care of the new woman like he did to Desiree. Paige asked him what he meant, and that's when she said that he confessed to murdering.
Sent us and found a picture of Marty Grismer. Is that the gentleman that we're talking about?
Marty was my best friend. Marty and I started dating for a little bit until he found out about Scott, and I told him I couldn't see him anymore. He's the one that got me the house. He bought my car outright in cash. He pays my insurance. He's done my grocery shopping. He's taken very well care of me.
You told Marty that Scott was the father of the baby?
Oh, Marty knew that Scott and I were together, and Scott was the only one that I was seeing. And he's smart enough to put it together. He asked me if I wanted him to take care of this new woman like he did Des. And I asked him what he was talking about. And apparently he decided that if the baby was Scott's like it was supposed to be, then Desiree would cause issues. Oh my God.
Any other details that he gave you about the night of, about how he did it, or?
He went in the front door because he knew that that was the closest to the bedroom. The alarm went off when he opened the door. And Ada came out barking. Des came out right behind her and he shot her. He shot her 3 times. She went down. He shot her some more. He went to the back of the house and moved the board off the window that Scott had put up.
What was your reaction when he started telling you all this?
I was in shock. I just mostly just sat and listened for chaos and prayed that I used to get away with it.
What do you say to that?
So there you go.
The police were stunned and they wanted proof. Paige agreed to wear a wire and meet Marty in public, while the police were nearby. Paige and Marty met outside of a coffee shop, and this episode showed pictures and played audio from this meeting.
From this meeting.
What is the word that we are using if something bad happens that you were going to say?
Avalanche.
Okay, now I know you want to fight. If something happens, I'm going to ask you to yell avalanche several times. I want you to curl and lean away from him, okay?
Where are you guys going to be sitting?
We will be in parking lot.
Okay.
Probably less than 20 yards away, 25 yards away.
Did you a spot? Give me a hug. Hey, I'm just saying, you didn't give me a hug last time I saw you. I was very hurt. Give me a minute of your time with nobody around. Because I know that you said that there was no evidence. So I'm just wondering for sure if there's nothing left.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have anything. You haven't done anything.
You can't freak me out, put me in full-on panic mode, and then just be like, nope, I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing anywhere or anything on anything. This is clear as mud, right?
I've smoked a carton and a half since last Friday. That's from all this stress.
Yeah.
I've calmed down a lot, but I'm still kind of in panic mode.
Can't imagine why you're panicking.
Oh, yeah. Gee, I wonder.
You got so much stress in your life on there. I don't know why you have such a break.
Right, because I haven't had any sort of
with reality,
confusing dreams of reality. Is that what happened?
Paige was directing the conversation and told Marty that she was stressed about what he told her last week. Marty said he didn't know what she was talking about. Whether he was suspicious or not, Marty never confessed to anything on tape. The police were once again back to square one. The case stalled for a few more weeks until the police received a call from the company where Marty worked. There were offices in the building being cleaned out, his being one of them, and they found a plastic bag of gun parts. The police went to collect the parts and sent them in for testing. The gun and bullet casings matched the gun used at the crime scene. This was literally and figuratively the smoking gun that the police needed. The office where Marty worked also found a laptop, jewelry, and a jewelry box that were confirmed to have been stolen from the Sunfords a few weeks before the murder. Next, the police obtained search warrants for Marty's apartment and his dad's house. The police found a pair of Marty's shoes and gave them to evidence for testing. It came back as matching the shoe print found in the blood, and it also the same size that they were looking for. Marty was brought in for questioning.
Desiree Sunford once.
I met him in passing. I met Scott many times before that, but I never met his wife because we never had any functions or anything together.
Okay. Ran a report that shows me all the guns that are registered to you, and it says that you own a Glock 9mm.
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay. You still own that?
It's at my apartment in the back of my wife's van with a supply of ammunition.
What's your relationship with Paige?
It's been complicated over the years. I mean, she was the best man at my wedding. So, I mean, she was my best friend for a while there.
You said she was the best man at your wedding?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She was my best friend, so I had her be my best man.
Okay. All right.
That's a first.
Were you two involved in a sexual relationship at one time?
Not exactly, no. We just fooled around a bit on there early on, but I was taking care of things for her financially. Fixing up her house, fixing up her plumbing, finding a place to live, moving her butt in there. Moving stuff out of storages for her when the bills were running out on them. I tried to be there for her because I wanted a relationship with her. Up to a flame, I kept going back and trying to help her, even after her own mother told me you probably shouldn't be
Did you ever offer to kill Desiree Sunford for Paige?
No, I haven't. I've never offered to kill anyone for anything. It's not in my nature.
Have you ever discussed killing her with Paige?
No.
Did she ever ask you to kill Desiree Sunford?
No.
Did Scott ever ask you to kill Desiree Sunford?
No one's ever asked me to kill anyone. I wouldn't. I've never thrown a punch in anger in my life. I wouldn't kill anyone. It's not who I am.
The problem comes in, the difficulty for you is that Paige is saying that you are the one who shot and killed Desiree Sunford. She said that you confessed that to her. And she came in and gave a tape statement to that effect. Paige has put you smack in the middle of a murder investigation.
Just trying to put my life in. I mean,
this would be a good way to go about it.
Didn't kill anyone. Pin the on me.
From the beginning of this conversation, as soon as you sat down, your heart's been about ready to jump out of your throat. You knew exactly what we wanted to talk to you about when you sat down.
I haven't done anything wrong on her, and she's trying to engineer, set me up to do something, saying to you that I killed someone. That it makes me sick.
You work at Basic American Foods, and they said that you were suspended from work for having gun parts.
Yeah.
At work. Can you tell me about that? What kind of gun parts are we talking about?
I had a gun barrel that I left there.
A gun barrel?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this gun barrel that we've been talking about? That's the gun barrel that was in the gun that killed Desiree Sunford. I've already retrieved that gun barrel from Basic American Foods, and I've already had the ballistic analysis done on it. And the slugs that were pulled from Desiree's body came from that gun.
How?
Well, that's the big question. You have the barrel that the bullets came out of that killed her. There's no question. So we need the truth. And we need it now. Give it up.
I've had that barrel for a while on there. I did let Paige borrow the gun early last year. She had the gun. She had that barrel on there. The gun to her early last year. This was around February. I know she had it for a while.
When did you get it back from her?
I got back about the end of March. I didn't know if anything had happened and all that. She asked me to try to get rid of stuff on
End of March?
Yeah,
Last year or this year?
2013. I was on March, so May.
Do you wear Dr. Scholl's shoes?
I have previously on there. I was telling my dad's if I haven't.
What size?
I've worn from a 12 to a 14 on there usually.
12 to 14. There were some bloody shoe prints left at the crime scene the night of the murder. What are the odds you think that those will match your size foot?
I don't know. I don't have shoes like that anymore. I had bought them previously on there when I wasn't there. So they shouldn't match my feet. I didn't go there.
But you know what happened. You just don't want to tell us everything. You're walking up to the edge. And we're asking you to go to the edge. Walk through the door. It's inside the truth, and you're refusing to do that. That's what we're seeing right now.
Is it possible that Paige recruited you into a scheme and then just threw you under the bus?
I definitely feel thrown under the bus, but I don't know.
You know exactly what happened, Marty. You know exactly what happened.
How would I know exactly what happened?
Because you're involved up to your eyeballs in this case. You know that that barrel was used in the murder. Okay? And we both strongly believe that you're involved in that murder. Very strongly, we believe that.
I've never killed anyone.
But you know who killed her.
Were you present?
No. I was not there. I was at home. I don't know who did it. I thought Paige had done it. That's all I thought. Well, I thought that
Scott had done it, but I don't know.
After everything you've done for her, after all the money, blood, sweat, tears, and love that you gave to her, and she turned around and hurt you.
We have you. You're going to jail. So you can protect Paige all you want.
I didn't kill anyone.
But you're going to jail.
What are you going to arrest me for?
The police confronted Marty with the evidence they collected. Marty admitted to buying a gun but said that he didn't kill anyone. The police told Marty that they had a taped statement from Paige saying he confessed to her. Marty said Paige was setting him up. Marty was charged with first-degree murder and he didn't show any emotion. The police believed that Marty killed Desiree because Paige had asked him to, and he would have done anything for her. The police also still believe that Paige and maybe even Scott had something to do with Desiree's death, but they still don't have evidence of that to this day. Marty entered at Alford plea, meaning he wasn't confessing, but there was enough evidence to convict him. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Desiree's mom, Connie, said,
First came the date of her birth, and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love, and how we spend our dash.
A poem read at Desiree's funeral, read again in her mother's living room in Moses Lake, followed by laughter and tears. All remembering a woman her friends and family describe as
Wonderful. True.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Inside and out.
It's adventuresome. I mean, when she told me that she was going to learn how to ride a motorcycle and buy a motorcycle, I'm like, oh no, you're not.
While Desiree has left this earth, her art lives on, right on her mother's leg.
It's the last completed piece of artwork that she had done. And we just kind of adopted it as her symbol.
It's not remembering the past that makes it so difficult for these women. That part is fun. The worst part is thinking about what could have been.
She would have been a wonderful mom, but that was kind of short, and that's it's sad. No, we could always just be here and hang out. And it's just sad that you won't never know what the rest of her life would have held.
And my daughter to look at me and go, I won't ever get to see Aunt Desi again. That was hard.
All I remember is holding my head and screaming no. Just no, 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 over and over again. The reason behind why he did it is just, there are no words. I mean, the anger that I feel, the world is literally a sadder place without her in it. I go on telling her story, and that gives me some comfort to let the world know who my daughter was. That's all.
I agree with the police. I think Paige manipulated Marty into killing Desiree. I think Marty liked Paige, but Paige liked Scott. I don't know if Scott had anything to do with it. I don't think enough justice was served, but at least someone capable of murdering someone is off the streets. Thank you for watching this episode, my young detectives. See you in the next one. Bye.